In terms of Tottenham, it's gone a little bit quiet in terms of incomings over there. But I read today that they've agreed personal terms with, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing the guy's name right. Is it Gift
Urban.
Orban?
Urban, yeah. I mean, they've. I think that was sorted out at least a week ago. To be honest, there was never a problem. Going to be a problem with personal terms with Gift Urban. So Tottenham, that's never a worry of theirs. The concern is actually getting this deal over the line. But there is still confidence it can happen. I think first and foremost, like some people anyway, still seem to be waiting for there to be a Harry Kane replacement arriving at Tottenham. Well, that's not going to happen. There's not going to be a like for like replacement. So let's forget the idea of that. But Gift Urban's coming. If he was to come, then you've got a 21-year-old, highly rated forward who is not only showing good goal scoring power, but also showing a good adaptability in terms of playing various positions across the front line. And I think that's something that's going to be key. We don't know. We don't expect Richarlison to play all season for Tottenham. There'll be at some point when he has a layoff, and Orban or somebody else will be given an opportunity to go through the middle there. But in the meantime, if they were to continue with Richarlison as the main man, you want options to play off of him. And I think that Orban has the potential to do that. So, yeah, he's a player that, again, is fitting to what Ange Postecoglou does. I think Postecoglou far more interested in profile of players than names of players. You can see in the way that he's given everyone a clean slate for this summer. Maybe apart from Højbjerg, he doesn't seem to be given much opportunity at this point, and they're trying to offload him. Yeah. But Bissouma, for example, and Sarr, like both players that other coaches weren't giving a time of day. You put your arm and show your confidence in somebody, and they'll deliver. And just the way that you start to build that team has got a lot more hope about it. Obviously, they've been linked with Brennan Johnson too at the moment, Tottenham. I haven't had that like flatly denied, but there does seem some skepticism around it because of the price tag that's attached to Brennan Johnson. Forest don't want to lose him. If they are, it's going to be over £50 million. Brentford have been sniffing around him for a lot of the summer, but there's a difference here between Brentford going for Brennan Johnson and Tottenham going to Brennan Johnson, in that Nottingham Forest will not accept that Brennan Johnson joins Brentford because they view Brentford as a rival. Forest view that they are a team they could strive to be like, and they could be on an even keel. Whereas Tottenham, there is more acceptance that, okay, that is a step up, and we are might be a bit more accommodating around a transfer as long as the terms around it fit what we're looking for. So there is a small possibility there. Tottenham will sign at least 2 players before deadline day, possibly 3. So there will be the forwards, say probably Gift Urban. If that falls through, they'll have to turn to somebody else. And a defender, of course, too, is like high on the agenda. Now, Tosin Adebayo, plays for Fulham, who I support, and I've seen a lot of. Like, I'm surprised that they're that hot on him. There aren't too many Fulham fans that are that bothered about him leaving, which I think says quite a lot. But that's a lot to do with his attitude and application as well. Like, he kind of tried to get out of Fulham last year. He seems to have, he thinks a lot of himself and his ability, which, fair play to him. If you've got the ego to push yourself, then go as high as you can and try and fly. But it's not clear yet, like, whether he can fulfill the potential that he believes he has. But there's offers for him in France with Monaco, and Tottenham could have to contend with that. I think that their defensive issue will go hand in hand with Davinson Sanchez leaving. He's got a few different options. A couple of those are in France too. So we'll see how that weighs out. And there's also this interesting Terrace, who was a player that was profiled by a few Premier League clubs. Crystal Palace, I know, had a look. Arsenal also early on in the transfer window, when they were profiling potential options for centre-back, had a look at Terrace, and he's still a name that Tottenham have on their list. So there is potential around that, but they have to sign another centre-back. Like, it's almost seen as unthinkable that they don't, especially with this uncertainty around Eric Dyer, who at the very most is staying at Tottenham for 1 more year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, they started well, Tottenham. They're playing nice football.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know much about about Gift that they're looking to bring in, but his goal scoring record, he's played 26. I think in his entire, I was just looking at a second ago, like this season, 6 goals in 4 games. I was also looking at his, I know he's only played in Belgium and in Norway. So he hasn't played in the highest level of leagues, but in his so far, like for Ghent, 26 games, 26 goals in his career. He's only played 50 games, but he's got 45 goals already. So there is a goal scorer in there. If he can translate that to the Premier League, they're signing an absolute star.
Yeah. I think that's the hope, and let's say if that does fall through, I do think that's the priority. That's the hunch I get. If that does fall through, that's when I guess Brennan Johnson might come onto the radar. I don't think it's a like for like. I don't think it's particularly similar. And I think Orban has the more goal power potentially. But he's really highly thought of. And I say, in terms of profiling of what Ange might like for continuing to build this team, there seems to be some really good reports around it.
Yeah, I'm not going to slag the Norwegian league off. That's where my cousin played for Viking.
Oh, nice.
He did. He knocked out, when he played for Viking in Norway, he knocked Chelsea out of the UEFA Cup.
Wow.
My cousin did at Stamford Bridge. Scored a last-minute equaliser. Bang.
That's amazing.
Knocked him out. Old Ben Wright, he did well. He did well out there. It was good. His agent, my cousin's agent, randomly, was John Arneris's mum, who was an agent. Yeah,
in an infamous agent actually. She had a few run-ins with people as well.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
I remember at Fulham. At Fulham, there were a few issues with Risa and his mum.
Yeah, we met her at his wedding. I was there, and then suddenly John Arnerisa was there. We're like, oh shit, look at this dude. We just didn't really take it seriously that he was a footballer, because Ben was always great. He actually grew up in Germany because he's born in an army barracks, and holds a record. Under 11s level, from under 14s and younger, he holds a level of most goals at youth level for Bayern Munich. Cousin was very good, but then he had a long break out of football because unfortunately his mum passed away when he was really young, and he didn't start playing again. He stopped at around 13. He didn't start playing again until he was 18, 19. I think those years of not playing,
like key years, isn't it?
Him get into that top. He did well. He now coaches and plays out in doesn't play anymore. He's old, but he coaches out in New Zealand. Does really well.
When you say old, is he like our age?
No, well, he's like mid-40s now.
Oh, okay, so he's old enough.
Yeah.
Right,
old in terms of yeah. Can't play, but, then well, in terms of, there's a lot of Liverpool fans in the comment section. I know Liverpool, it's hard to get news on them, but there's talk that they put a bid in for this Santos midfielder Andre that's been rejected. Are they close to maybe looking at something with the Core? I know they've been linked to him. What's your understanding around Liverpool's current situation?
I mean, I just don't really buy the view that they're done.